I killed my brother with my bare hands last night. But no one will ever know it was me, because I'm wearing his skin now. The text came at 2:17 a.m., right after the swap. Don't come to Dad's funeral. As if he could stop the storm he'd unleashed. I stared at the screen, my new fingers, his fingers trembling, and typed back, too late. I'm already here. The rain hammered Chicago like it had a personal grudge, turning the streets into black mirrors that reflected the neon bleed from the looped skyscrapers. I pulled my collar up against the chill, but it wasn't the weather biting into me, it was the weight of this body, heavy with secrets and sins that weren't mine. My name's Isla, or it was, before the accident that flipped everything inside out.
Now, I'm Ethan.
My golden boy brother. The one who'd always skated through life on charm and lies while I drowned in the fallout. It started 6 months ago, back when Dad's cough turned into a rattle that echoed through our old family brownstone in Lincoln Park. Ethan was the executor, the heir apparent, the one who'd clawed his way up the corporate ladder at Dad's firm, Hawthorne Investments, while I scraped by as a freelance coder in a basement apartment, haunted by the felony that should have been his. Grand theft. Embezzlement from the company's slush fund. But Ethan?
He pinned it on me.
Forged the emails, planted the digital trail, and watched as the feds dragged me away in cuffs. For the family, he whispered in the station, his hand on my shoulder like a benediction.
Family.
What a crock. I did 3 years in Logan Correctional, the kind of place that chews up dreams and spits out husks. Released on good behavior, but marked forever, no high-paying gigs. No trust from anyone who'd known the before. Dad visited once, his eyes watery behind those thick glasses, muttering about fixing it when he was gone. Ethan never showed. And now Dad was gone, lungs finally giving out from the cancer that ate him from the inside, and Ethan's text burned in my pocket like a live wire. I shouldn't have been surprised. Ethan always played gatekeeper, the one who decided who got in and who got shut out. But this, barring me from the funeral, it reeked of desperation, like he knew something I didn't, or feared what I'd uncover. The will reading was set for tomorrow. Private. Invite only. In the firm's downtown office. I hailed a cab, the driver eyeing my reflection in the rearview, Ethan's reflection, sharp jaw, tousled dark hair, that easy smile that hid the shark underneath. The swap had happened in a blur. A freak lab accident at some black market biotech startup I'd been moonlighting for, testing neural interfaces that promised enhanced empathy. One surge of electricity, a glitch in the prototype helmet, and suddenly I was piloting his body while his consciousness flickered into mine like a ghost in the machine. Doctors called it a miracle I survived. The real miracle was that Ethan's mind was trapped in my old shell, comatose in a hospital bed across town, tubes snaking into arms that used to code through the night. No one knew. I played it off as a mugging gone wrong, anonymous tip to the cops. And poof, Isla Reese was just another Jane Doe in the system. But Ethan? He woke up yesterday, groggy, disoriented, pounding on the glass of his room until the nurses sedated him. That's when the text came. From my old phone. His words, "Don't come. Please." Yeah.
Right.
Like I was gonna miss the show. The cab dropped me at the Hilton, where Ethan, me now, had a suite booked under the company card. I swiped in, the door beeping like a heartbeat, and collapsed onto the king bed, staring at the ceiling's ornate molding. My hands, his hands, flexed, veins standing out like ropes. I could feel the ghost of my own body in them, the calluses from keyboards and prison weights, now smoothed over by his manicures and gym sessions. The biotech firm's warning echoed, temporary neural overlay. Fight the drift, or you'll lose yourself. Drift? I was already adrift. A revenge ghost in borrowed flesh. Sleep came in fits. Dreams of Dad's office. The one with the wall of signed baseballs from clients who'd trusted him blind. Trusted us. I woke to the alarm at dawn. The city stirring below like a beast shaking off hangover fog. Shower first. Hot water sluicing over skin that wasn't mine. Soap that smelled like his cologne. Crisp and citrusy, masking the rot underneath. I dressed in his closet. Charcoal suit. Crisp white shirt. Tie knotted with the precision he'd drilled into me as kids. Look the part.
Isla.
Even if you aren't. Hypocrite. Down in the lobby, the doorman nodded like I was king shit, and I stepped into the drizzle, hailing another ride to the funeral home on Michigan Avenue. St. Michael's. All Gothic spires and stained glass that promised absolution, I didn't buy. The service was small. Family only, Ethan's doing. No doubt. I slipped in late. Hood up. Taking a pew in the back. The casket gleamed mahogany under the lilies. Dad's photo propped beside it, smiling. Vital. Before the chemo hollowed him out. Reverend Hayes droned on about legacy, about a man who'd built an empire from nothing, immigrant parents scraping by in Pilsen, turning pennies into portfolios. I tuned out, eyes on the front row. Mom, frail in black lace, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief. Aunt Clara, stone-faced, clutching her purse like a shield, and empty seats where siblings should have been. Just me, Ethan, and the void. Halfway through, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Leave now. For your sake. I deleted it. Heart pounding. Who? One of his lackeys? The burial was at Rosehill. The ground sodden. Umbrellas blooming like funeral mushrooms. I hung back as they lowered the box. Dirt pattering like accusations. Mom leaned on me, on him, whispering, "He was so proud of you, Ethan. Always said you'd carry the torch."
Proud.
Of the son who framed his sister? I murmured condolences, voice low and modulated to match his baritone, and escaped before the wake, claiming a board meeting. Lies upon lies. Back in the suite, I poured scotch from the minibar, the burn familiar yet foreign in this throat. The will reading loomed, for PM. At Hawthorne's Tower. I needed a plan.
Confront him? No.
That was suicide. Ethan, real Ethan, was unraveling. Nurses had called me earlier, concerned about my erratic behavior in the hospital. Time was short before the drift pulled me under or his allies sniffed out the switch. Revenge wasn't about spectacle. It was surgical. I'd dismantle him from the inside, thread by thread, starting with the will. Whatever Dad left, it'd be the key to the kingdom he stole from me. I booted up his laptop, password cracking under my old hacker tricks, Isla's tricks. Emails flooded in, board memos, client deals, and buried deep, a folder labeled contingency. Heart racing, I clicked. Files on me, the frame job, digital receipts, even a draft confession he'd never sent. But more Dad knew. Notes from a PI. Timelines of the theft. Ethan's alibis crumbling like ash. Son, one read, "If you're reading this,
I've gone.
Fix it, or lose everything. Lose everything." That's why the text. He feared I'd come. Stir the pot. Expose the rot. A knock at the door jolted me. Room service? No. The peephole showed a suit, corporate muscle. One of Ethan's fixers from the firm. Mr. Hawthorne? Urgent message from the board. I cracked the door, feigning exhaustion. He handed over an envelope, sealed with wax. Inside, a single photo. Me, old me, in prison orange. And a note. We know what you did. Stay away. Or we bury you both. Both. Mom? Or the bodies swap secret leaking. I slammed the door. Pulse thundering. They were closing in. Night fell heavy. The city lights a glittering trap. I couldn't sleep, pacing the carpet worn thin by better men's regrets. The swap had given me this chance. A Trojan horse in the gates. But at what cost? Ethan's memories flickered at the edges. Flashes of boardrooms. Mistresses. The thrill of the con. I shoved them down, focusing on mine. The clang of cell doors. Dad's letters promising justice. Tomorrow, the reading. I'd walk in as him, play the part, and when the truth spilled, I'd twist the knife. But as I stared out at the storm-lashed lake, a whisper in his mind, what if Dad's secret was bigger? What if the frame wasn't just Ethan's play, but a chain reaction from something buried deeper? A family sin I'd borne without knowing? The scotch soured in my gut. Revenge tasted like ash already. The elevator to Hawthorne's 42nd floor hummed like a dirge. All glass walls framing the sprawl of Chicago below, a concrete jungle where dreams got devoured daily. I adjusted my tie, practicing Ethan's smirk in the reflection. That half-cocked grin that said, I own this. Fake it till you make it. Right? But inside, Isla screamed, fists clenched against the bars of this borrowed cage. The doors parted, and there it was, the executive suite, all leather and lacquer, the air thick with coffee and cologne. Miriam, Dad's longtime secretary, greeted me with a hug that lingered too long. Ethan, honey, you look wrecked. Your father's proud, wherever he is.
Wrecked? Try possessed.
I nodded, murmuring thanks, eyes scanning the conference room. The players were assembled. Aunt Clara, perched like a hawk in her Chanel suit, Cousin Mark, fidgety in ill-fitting wool, representing the minor shareholders, and Harlan Voss, the family lawyer, a silver fox with a voice like gravel in a tumbler. No, Mom, she'd begged off. Too fragile, and no sign of Ethan's goons.
Yet.
We settled around the oval table, the will projected on the smart screen like a bad PowerPoint from hell. Harlan cleared his throat, spectacles perched on his nose. Edward Hawthorne's Last Testament, dated March 15th. To my beloved wife, Eleanor, the brownstone and all personal effects, slides flipped, deeds, jewelry appraisals, murmurs of approval. Then, to my son, Ethan James Hawthorne, the majority stake in Hawthorne Investments, provided he rectifies the injustice done to his sister, Isla Marie Hawthorne, within 90 days of my passing. Failure to do so results in divestment to Isla. In full. The room froze. Aunt Clara's pearls clicked like teeth chattering. Mark choked on his water. Harlan's eyes flicked to me. Ethan, sharp as a scalpel, rectifies the injustice. Dad hadn't just known, he'd weaponized it. My heart, his heart, slammed against ribs that felt too tight. I forced the smirk, leaning back. Well, that's
dramatic.
Dad always loved a plot twist, Whispers erupted. Injustice? What the hell does that mean? Mark sputtered. Clara shot me a look that could curdle milk. Ethan, if there's something we should know. Harlan rapped his pen, silencing them. The codicil is clear. Evidence attached, financial records, witness statements. Isla was wrongfully convicted. Ethan, you're to confess, make restitution, or the shares transfer.
Confess.
The word hung like smoke. I could see it now, Dad's late-night huddles with the PI, piecing together Ethan's web while chemo dripped into his veins. He'd held off, hoping his boy would man up, but deathbed clarity demanded action. And me, walking in his shoes. Literally, I had the power to pull the trigger. But not yet. Let it simmer. The reading wrapped with small bequests, scholarships in Dad's name, donations to the Polish Heritage Fund, and we filed out to the lobby bar for closure. I nursed a bourbon, ears tuned to the buzz. Clara cornered me by the ficus. Your father's mind was going at the end, Ethan.
This.
Nonsense about Isla. She's a liability. Always was. That prison stint tainted the brand. Liability. That's what I'd been reduced to. A smudge on the family ledger. I sipped slow, letting her venom pool. Maybe Dad saw it different.
Aunt.
Maybe he wanted truth over legacy. She bristled, fan snapping open. Truth? Your brother's the future. Don't let some ghost drag us down. Brother. If only she knew the ghost was me. I excused myself, slipping into the stairwell for air. Phone buzzed. Hospital alert. Patient Isla Reese agitated, demanding to speak to Ethan Hawthorne. Him. Trapped in my body, clawing at reality. I deleted the notification. But guilt gnawed. Was this revenge or torture? Back home, his penthouse in River North. All sleek lines and city views. I paced the open-plan kitchen. Marble cool under bare feet. The will changed everything. 90 days to rectify, but how? A public confession would tank the firm. Expose the rot to clients who'd flee like rats. Ethan's empire, built on my back,
Crumbling. Tempting.
but deeper. Dad's files hinted at more. A locked drive on the laptop, encrypted with his birthday, simple, sentimental. I cracked it, breath held. Subfolders bloomed. Operation Clean Slate. Emails from 2012, when I was 22, fresh out of college, interning at the firm. A deal gone south, insider trading with a Russian oligarch. Millions siphoned. Dad took the heat, quietly, paying fines under the table to protect the company.
But Ethan?
He'd greenlit it,
Forget Dad's signature.
then buried the evidence by framing me for a lesser scam years later, tying up loose ends. I'd borne the fall for his ambition, but Dad had borne it first for both of us. The ultimate betrayal, not just to me, but to the old man who'd built it all. Tears, his tears, hot on my cheeks. I smashed the glass against the wall, shards glittering like fallen stars. This wasn't just revenge, it was excavation, unearthing the bones of a family built on quicksand. Ethan had known about the oligarch mess, used it as leverage, whispering to Dad on his deathbed, "I'll handle it. Just give me the firm."
Lies.
All of it. A key turned in the lock, his fiancée, Brooke, early from her yoga retreat. She breezed in, blonde and Botox smooth.
Dropping her bag.
"Babe, the reading, how bad?" I froze. Mind racing. Play the part. I pulled her close, nuzzling her neck, stomach twisting at the intimacy that wasn't mine. Bad enough. Dad's got conditions. She pulled back, eyes narrowing, sharp, like she smelled blood. Conditions? Like what? I spun a half-truth. Family drama. Old grudges. She poured wine, handing me a glass, her touch lingering. Your sister's ghost again? Ethan, let it go. She's toxic. Toxic. The words stung, but I nodded, letting her lead me to the couch. Sex followed. Mechanical on my end, his body responding on autopilot while my mind recoiled. Afterward, she traced patterns on my chest. Whatever it is, we fix it. Together. The board's behind you. The board. Ethan's puppets. Greased with bonuses and threats. She fell asleep curled against me, but I lay awake, plotting. Step 1. Isolate him. I'd visit the hospital tomorrow. As Ethan. Face the monster in my old skin. Taunt him with the will. Watch him crack. Step 2. Leak the files anonymously to the SEC. Let the feds circle like vultures. Controversial? Hell yes, destroying the firm meant jobs lost. Mom's security gutted. But justice wasn't clean, it was a bloodletting. Dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving. Brooke kissed me goodbye. Off to Pilates. I dressed down, jeans, hoodie, to blend at the hospital. Northwestern Memorial.
Air wing.
Private room bought with firm money. The nurse at the desk recognized me, waving me through. There he was, Ethan. In my body. Wiry frame. Faded tattoos from a rebellious phase. Eyes wild and sunken. Tubes hissed. Monitors beeped. He thrashed as I entered. Voice a rasp. You. What did you do? This isn't. Get it off. I leaned close. Voice low. Sho. Brother. It's me. Isla. My eyes widened. Horror dawning.
Impossible.
The accident. You died. I smiled. Ethan's smile.
Cruel now. Close.
But swaps don't kill, they rebirth. Dad's will? It's over for you. He lunged. Chains rattling. Spit flying. Liar. I'll tell them. Tell who? Your Isla Reese.
Ex-con.
Raving about body swaps. They'll lock you in a psych ward. Panic twisted his features, my features.
Sweet. Please.
Fix it. The prototype. The lab they can reverse. I cut him off. Hand on his shoulder. Squeezing. Reverse? After what you did. Framed me.
Stole my life.
Let Dad die thinking you'd redeem yourself?
No.
You rot here while I burn it all down. He sagged. Defeated. Whispers turning to sobs. It wasn't just me.
Dad.
He knew about the Russian deal. Pushed me into it. Pushed? The files said otherwise. Lie or truth. I filed it away, leaving him curled fetal. Elevator down. City swallowing me whole. The drift tugged, flashes of Ethan's childhood. Bike rides with Dad. First betrayal kiss with Brooke. Fight it. I snarled inwardly. Back at the penthouse. A package waited. Unmarked. Heavy. Inside, a USB drive and note. Play this before the board votes tomorrow. Or Isla wakes up. Blackmail. From the fixers? I plugged it in. Video buffering. Grainy footage. Me, old me in the embezzlement act, but doctored. Time-stamped wrong. Ethan's insurance policy. Rage boiled. Controversial decision time. Destroy it. Or use it as bait.
I chose B.
Uploaded a copy to a burner cloud. Then emailed Harlan anonymously. Check this against the will evidence. Let the lawyer smell the forgery. The board meeting loomed. Ethan's coronation. Now my sabotage. As rain lashed the windows again, I wondered, was I saving the family or dooming it? Dad's voice echoed. Fix it.
Yeah.
One way or another. The boardroom on 4-5 was a shark tank. All glass and egos. The lake a steel gray backdrop to the power plays. I strode in as Ethan, briefcase in hand, the weight of the USB like a grenade in my pocket. 12 suits. Mostly old white guys with Rolexes and receding hairlines. Plus Brooke at the end, her smile a velvet trap. Gentlemen. Ladies, I said, taking the head seat, Dad's seat. Let's make this quick. Dad's will have strings. But Hawthorne's future doesn't. Murmurs rippled. Harlan was there, uninvited but insistent. Briefcase chained to his wrist like a medieval scribe. Ethan, before we proceed, a word on the codicil. Eyes turned. I waved it off. Family matter. Handled privately. But Harlan didn't budge, sliding a tablet across. Not so private. I've received correspondence corroborating the injustice claim.
Gasps.
Brooke's fork paused midair. She lived for these meetings. Drama her aphrodisiac. The screen lit up. Side-by-side docs. Will evidence versus the forged video. Timestamps clashed. IP traces led back to Ethan's office printer.
Fabrication. Harlan à ton aide.
Clear as day. Chaos erupted. Accusations flying. Ethan, explain from the CFO. A ruddy-faced bull named Hargrove. I stood, channeling calm I'd learned in prison yoga. Breathe through the storm. Looks like someone's trying to smear me. Sabotage from a disgruntled ex-employee.
Ex-employé. Me.
Irony tasted like bile. Brooke jumped in. Voice honeyed venom. This is Isla's doing. Isn't it? That woman's been gunning for us since day one. The room nodded. Tribal. Closing ranks. Aunt Clara, dialing in via video, chimed precisely. She's unstable. Ethan. Cut her out. Unstable. The word ignited something primal. I slammed the table. Ethan's baritone booming. Enough. Dad trusted me to lead. Not bicker like kids. We'll audit the claims, clear my name, and move on. Motion to table. Votes tallied, unanimous. My way. Victory.
Pyrrhic.
As they filed out, Harlan lingered, eyes piercing. Ethan, off record, your father's PI found more. The Russian deal. If this blows. Threat or warning. I clapped his shoulder. It won't. Trust me. He left. Uneasy. Brooke sidled up, lips brushing my ear. Proud of you.
Babe.
Handled like a boss. Her hand on my thigh. Possessive. I extricated, claiming calls. Alone. I exhaled. The room spinning. The drift was worsening. Ethan's muscle memory kicking in. Fingers itching for a cigar he smoked in stress.
No.
Focus. Next move, the confession. I'd force it from him. Record it.
Drop it to the press.
Controversial as hell. Tanking stocks. Headline screaming, Hawthorne air-framed sister. But dads will demanded it. 90 days ticking like a bomb. Phone buzzed. Hospital. Mr. Hawthorne, your sisters. Isla's. Condition deteriorated.
Seizure.
You should come. Seizure. The swap destabilizing? Panic clawed. I bolted. Traffic a snarl of horns and middle fingers, peak Chicago rage. Our waiting room reeked of bleach and despair. Fluorescent buzz drilling my skull. The doc, a harried Indian woman with kind eyes,
Pulled me aside.
she's stable, but agitated.
Keeps calling for you. Says.
Impossible things. Body swap. I laughed it off, Ethan's laugh. Booming. Delirium. Trauma from the mugging. She nodded, unconvinced, leading me in. There he was. Restraints fresh. Bruises blooming on my old arms from the thrashing. My eyes locked on. Fever bright. You did this. For what? The money? Dad hated you. Always did. Picked me. Hate? The files said pride.
Lie.
I leaned in, whispering hot. Hated me? He wrote the will to save me from you. Confess. Ethan. On video. Or I let the drift take you permanent. He sneered. Spit flecking. Confess? To what? The frame was mercy. You were spiraling, hacking gigs.
Debts.
I saved the family.
Saved?
By stealing my freedom? Bullshit. The Russian deal, you pushed it. Forged Dad's sig. He covered for you. Like I covered later. His face crumpled. Mask slipping.
He.
Pushed?
No.
He ordered it. Make the play.
Son.
Build the legacy. Ordered? The ultimate twist, Dad. The saint. The architect of the fall? Files contradicted, but doubt seeded. Liar. But he pressed. Check the safe. Home office. Combination your birthday. Proof. My birthday. Isla's. Trap or truth. I stormed out, hailing a ride to the brownstone. Mom was there, puttering in the garden, weeds pulling like regrets.
Ethan?
What? I hugged her stiff, inhaling lavender and loss. Need Dad's office. Quick. She frowned but nodded.
Key from her chain.
The room unchanged, desk cluttered with ledgers. Baseball wall intact. Safe in the floor. Combo 0723, July 23rd. My birth.
Click.
Inside, a ledger. Written. Entries in Dad's scrawl. Pages flipped. Heart sinking. 2012. E.
Grenlig Soligarch White.
5M. My sign forged, his hand steady. My conscience not. Forged by Ethan. But Dad's notation. Approved post facto. For the firm. Complicit. He'd known. Buried it deeper. Then framed the narrative to protect his legacy, using me as the scapegoat when Ethan's sloppiness resurfaced. Betrayal squared. Dad's sin. Ethan's execution. My sacrifice. Nausea hit. I was avenging a lie. Mom knocked. Everything all right? I pocketed the ledger. Forcing smile. Peachy. Out in the hall. Her hand on my arm. Your sister. She called earlier. From the hospital. Sounded lost. Called him. Using my voice. What did she say? Mom's eyes welled. That you're not you. That she's coming for us all. Chills. The drift. Or his play. Night cloaked the city as I drove, his Audi purring, to the lab, the biotech hole-in-the-wall in Wicker Park. Shutters down. But my code, Isla's, cracked the back door. Servers hummed. Logs from the swap. Anomaly. Dual consciousness. Reversal possible with a jolt. But risky, 50-50 fatality.
Tempting.
End this. Slip back. Let real Ethan face the music. But the ledger burned in my pocket. Truth reversed. Dad wasn't the victim. He was the villain. Puppeteering sons into monstrosity. Decision loomed. Controversial to the core. Forgive the dead. Destroy the living? Or burn it all? Firm. Family? Me included? I booted the reversal sequence. Helmet whirring to life. Straps bit skin, his skin as current built. One pull of the switch. But the door crashed open. Brooke. Flanked by fixers. Gunmetal glinting.
Ethan?
What the fuck? She'd tailed me. Her loyalty to the Empire ironclad. Lab? This is where it happened to Isla. Her eyes darted.
Piecing it. Panic.
Brooke. Listen. She laughed.
Cold.
Don't. I know. The texts. The hospital calls. You're her. The switch.
How?
Ethan must have cracked. Confessed in delirium. Fixers advanced. Zip ties out. Board's orders. Contain the threat. Struggle ensued, fists flying. His body stronger but my instinct sharper. I need one. Elbowed another. But Brooke's taser bit. Volts dancing me to the floor. Waking strapped to a gurney in a black site van. Warehouse district. Rain pattering tin roof. Brooke loomed. Syringe in hand. Sedatives for the psych eval. Then. Suicide for the real Ethan. Clean slate. Her face twisted, ambition unmasked. She'd known all along. Ethan's confidant in crime. Pushing the frame. The cover-ups. The real power behind the throne. I spat. Voice raw. You won't get away. The will.
Will.
We burned the codicil. Harlan's. Persuaded.
Dead.
Or bought. Rage surged. Drift forgotten. I bucked. Straps creaking. Dad knew. The ledger. She paused. Needle hovering. Ledger? Irrelevant. Legacy's mine now. Plunge. Darkness edged in, but I whispered, check the cloud.
Video.
It's over. Her eyes widened, the bait USB. Uploaded pre-meeting. Forgery exposed. But now with her prints.
Twist.
Sirens wailed distant. Anonymous tip me. From the lab phone. Cops swarmed. Badges flashing. Brooke bolted. Fixers cuffed. Chaos. I slipped restraints, old con tricks, and vanished into the storm. Hoodie up.
City my ally.
Hiding in a dive bar, off division. Nursing black coffee. I watched the news on a cracked TV. Hawthorne scandal. Forged evidence. Missing air. Stocks plunged. Board scrambling. Ethan. In my body. Transferred to county psych, raving. Discredited. Mom's face flashed. Tear-streaked. Where's my son? Guilt gnawed. Controversial climax. Expose all? Or mercy kill the truth?
Ichosfera.
Uploaded everything ledger. Emails. swap logs to WikiLeaks proxy. Dawn broke as hit spiked, world devouring the Hawthorne rot. But the drift pulled hard now, Ethan's laugh bubbling unbidden. Memories overwriting. Reversal window closing. Back to the lab. One last shot. The lab was a tomb by midnight, consoles cold, the helmet scarred from my earlier frenzy. Rain sluiced the skylight, fracturing moonlight into accusatory shards. I strapped in, his fingers trembling on the switch. The ledger lay open beside me. Dad's scrawl a condemnation. For the firm. Always. Legacy. What a poison. I'd torched it all, scandal erupting like Vesuvius. Headlines screaming, Hawthorne Empire in ashes, incestuous betrayal and body swap madness. The twist I'd planted. Half true, half fiction to discredit Ethan's ravings. Cops raided the penthouse. Broken cuffs for obstruction. Aunt Clara lawyered up in Miami. Mom, safe in a hotel. My anonymous wire transfer cushioning the fall. But me, drifting into oblivion. Ethan's whispers crowded. Boardroom conquests. Brooks moans. The high of the con. Eastlaw fading like smoke. One jolt to swap back. Risk death for clarity. Or stay. Rule the ruins as him. Vengeance complete. But soul sold. Controversial endgame. Rebirth or damnation. Current hummed. Building to crescendo. Visions flashed. Prison yard. Dad's grave. Ethan's terrified eyes in my face. Fix it, Dad's ghost urged. I flipped the switch. Agony. Fire in veins. Mind splitting like thunderclap. Two selves warred, Eastlaw's fury. Ethan's cunning, then snap. Darkness. Awakening slow. Body leaden.
Which?
Hands rose, calloused.
Inked. Mine.
Eastlaw's. The helmet smoked. Screens fritzed, reversal worked. But partial.
Ethan? Gone.
Consciousness shredded in the surge. Mercy. Or murder. No body. No proof, just a flatline at county. Chalked to complications. I stumbled out. Dawn painting the alley gold. My old Civic waited. Dusted but running. First stop, Mom's hotel. Magnificent mile anonymity. She opened the door. Haggard. Clutching a robe. Eastlaw? God. Child. Hug crashed over us. Sobs mingling. The news. Ethan. What happened? I held her. Truths tumbling, the frame, the swap. Dad's complicity. She stiffened, then sagged.
He was a hard man.
Loved fierce. Hurt deeper. Forgave him? Debatable.
Vitalsked till noon.
Coffee cooling. Her hand in mine. The firm, she asked. Crumbled. But salvageable. Minor shareholders circling like vultures. But clean ones. I'd code again. Freelance empires from shadows. No throne for me. Afternoon brought Harlan. Unannounced. Coffee in hand, black. 2 sugars. My order. Miss Reese. Or should I say, Hawthorne? He'd pieced it. The anonymous tips. The lab logs I'd accidentally left.
No judgment.
Just weariness. Your father's will stands.
Technically.
Shares to you. Post-rectification. Rectification. Ethan's death as confession. Twisted justice. I signed papers. Empire mine on paper. But hollow.
Sell it, I said.
Charity. Cancer research. He nodded, eyes twinkling. Edward would have approved. Eventually, exit, leaving me with keys to a kingdom I didn't want. Sunset found me at Rose Hill. Dad's plot fresh. Lilies wilting. I knelt. Dirt-caking knees. You built it on lies, old man. But I fixed it your way. Or mine. Wind whispered no answer. Grave next, Ethan's. Or mine. A blank marker. Unknown. Courtesy of the switch's erasure. I traced the stone. Rest, brother. Or whatever you were. Driving south on 94. City shrinking rearview. I felt the pull, freedom. Unmoored. Freelance in Austin? Mountains in Colorado? Choices bloomed. Untethered from hawthorn chains. But the scar lingered. Betrayal's echo. Dad's ghost. The what-ifs. Was it revenge or reckoning? Happy ending. Firm redeemed. Family fragments mending. Or tragedy. Lives shattered for one woman's wrath. Phone buzzed unknown. Brooke. From lockup? You won. But was it worth it?
Delete. No.
Worth every drift. Every lie. The road unspooled. America vast and unforgiving. Rain easing to mist. I cranked the radio, Springsteen wailing Thunder Road, and accelerated. Legacy? Screw it. Mine now. Epilogue whispers. Months later. Headlines faded. I code under alias in a Seattle loft. Waves crashing below. Mom visits. Laughs line softening. The swap? Urban legend. Biotech scandal buried in lawsuits. But nights. Dreams blend, his hands on keyboards. My fury in code. Fixed? Debatable. Alive? Damn right. And if the drift returns, I'll fight. Or embrace. After all, in America, reinvention's the real revenge.